Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today on this video, I wanted to do a product review of a new fishing line that I started using just recently. It's actually a mainline braided line from Seaguar that is actually part of the JDM line, so brought overseas from Japan. This is something that has been real popular over there, and they brought it to the American market, and I'm really glad that they did, because this line right here is what we're going to be talking about, the PEX8 from Seaguar. This is a 8-strand mainline braid that, to me, when I saw it and I saw the qualities of it, which it's marketed as an extremely thin diameter braid. So they say that it's up to 20%, 22% thinner diameter than comparable braids. So it's, or just standard braids in general, which is saying a lot, because braided fishing line in general is already super thin per pound test rating as far as the diameter. Anyways, this braid, I've been using it on my spinning gear primarily, because I think that's the real application. Here we are with the Shimano Stratic. And I've got this as the main line. I've got 21 pound test on this reel, and I chose 21 pound test because I didn't want to go any lighter than that, because I was worried about some of the leader sizes that I was going to use with the PEX8 being too big for the comparable diameter of the braid. And so far it has worked great, and there's some, I really don't have any negatives to talk about with this braid. The only negative might be, depending on what leader size that you're using, is actually the diameter. You may be a little bit cautious about using an ultra light diameter or small diameter with a thicker diameter leader material. But the main thing that really got me excited about this braid after starting to use it is the fact that I have not received any wind knots at all. So we just got back from Sam Rayburn Reservoir down in Texas, first Bassmaster Open of the season in Division II. And, I've been struggling for a while with braided lines on my spinning reels, in the wind knot, department. For some reason, it just, I've had a lot of issues with that. Obviously, braid doesn't have any memory, or very little memory, so it shouldn't kink up. But I've been having some issues with other braids, just creating loop knots, and that also has a lot to do with the spinning reel that you have. A lot of spinning reels, you'll get just the way that the line is held on the spool. Sometimes you get the line kind of loop over the top of the reel like this, which I think can happen with any spinning reel, but there's some spinning reels I think it's even worse of an issue. But anyways, putting this line on, I was hoping that would be eliminated, and it has been, because I have not had a single wind knot since I put this on, which to me is the biggest deal overall. If there's one thing that I wanted to eliminate, it was wind knots. So, because it's so frustrating, man, when you got your leader just tied on, and then you make a cast, and it's just, you get this fluff ball that looks like a spider back to the boat, and you know that it's going to be real hard to untangle that, if you're able to at all. That is one of my biggest pet peeves. Anyways, so PEX8, like I said, super thin diameter. Another thing that they did is they put, they have it in, on the website, it says passion pink. I don't know why it's passion pink. That's like a Mai Tai or some kind of type of blended drink. But they've got passion pink with intermittent chartreuse green, lengths in there to kind of count the depth, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I don't really care about, the little intermittent, green patches. It could just be all pink as far as I'm concerned, but there's probably a reason, that it's there, and for people that are a little bit more, have more attention to detail. But overall, the braid is excellent. I would say that, I mean, I haven't had any failures, so very good at abrasion resistance. Again, the wind knot thing is a big deal for me. And just overall, man, it is incredibly smooth casting. And I think that's one of the main things that we look for in a braid is smooth casting on a spinning reel. Now, this is an 8-strand braid, okay? So this is an 8-carrier braid. So it's going to have a rounder profile. It's just overall going to be casting a whole lot better and a whole lot smoother. And so that's what you get from it. And honestly, I don't know what else to talk about with this line. I just think it is awesome. It is very well suited for spinning tactics, spinning gear, and finesse tactics. And so if you're looking to use a line for real finesse-y tactics on spinning gear, this is a really, really good one. You know, if you're doing mainline, you know, braid with no leader, like if you're throwing like a spy bait or something like this type of line, dude, is absolutely the deal, you know, having that real light diameter. Now, for my fishing, you know, I'm usually not going like super, super light with my leaders or my main line. So for me, I kind of, even though the whole selling point of this is that it has a very thin diameter, for me, especially with like a jig head minnow setup, I actually go pretty high up with the pound test rating. I think I've been using the 21 and I think 24. I might be wrong on the pound test for that. It might be higher than that. But anyways, I go a little bit higher because I don't want the difference to be too big between my leader diameter, fluorocarbon leader that I use, the Grand Max. I've been using the Grand Max in the JDM line. That's an awesome line, and I love the spool that it comes on, like more so than anything. I mean, I've traditionally been a gold label leader guy, but the Grand Max has a really cool spool that really locks the line in when you're done taking your leader length out. You can lock it in there. It just a way better spool scenario or design. Same thing with this, actually. I'll show you. So this one has a nice little locking mechanism right here. I don't know if you can see it, but that's really nice where you don't need to have that glue, or not the glue, but that sticker to keep the line from unraveling. So just small things like that, just functional features that you don't see with a lot of lines, I think is a big deal. But anyways, I'm just kind of keeping my eye on, I'm using the heavier versions just so I don't have that disparity between the two different leader and mainline diameter sizes. But also another thing to consider is a lot of guys fishing like a jig head minnow with forward facing sonar, they want that bait to hover, and you don't want to go too light. You don't want to go too thin with your line diameter, because then it's going to be more efficient at slicing through the water and it's going to pendulum more. So you kind of do want a heavier line for some techniques to create that resistance in the water to keep your bait from wanting to pull forward and get deeper. So that's something to consider. I'm still experimenting with it, but as far as the qualities that are most important to me, strength, durability, and lack of wind knots, this has been very, very good. So I've got the link to PEX8, the Tackle Warehouse affiliate link, in the description below. That is a great way to support the channel. So if you're gonna buy products like this that I talk about on these videos, just consider using those links. It gets you there directly, and it also helps support the channel and keep me motivated to keep doing videos like this. So thank you guys so much. If you have any specific questions about this line or any of the other JDM lines or any Seaguar fishing line, definitely drop a comment below. Other than that, I'm going to see you out on the water. Make sure you trust the process.